Keep the same energy, the same energy, 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 keep the same energy, the same energy. Keep all that bullshit away from me. I don't fall away.
What's going on, y'all? This is Jerome Smith, also known as JSAK the Best, and welcome back to my favorite day of the week, Sync Music Mondays. And I gotta introduce my man, my brother, the man of the hour, Kyle Hunter, also known as K Sparks. What's good, man?
Oh God, we healthy,
Yes,
man.
sir.
We here,
How you
we
feel,
here.
man?
Listen, alive and blessed, bro.
Yeah.
We lit, man. Y'all know what it is, financial literacy for your music. Every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. Numbers is crazy. Shout out to all of y'all, man. We teach y'all how to get to the bag through music licensing and also just highlight the latest and greatest, man. So y'all know what it is, man. But Jay, you know what it is, bro.
I need to learn something. What is today's word of the day?
Today's word of the day, man, you know, mind, body, and soul, man, the Trinity, right? So today's word of the day, straight to the gate, man. You become rich in your mind long before you become rich in your bank account. I'll say that again. You become rich in your mind long before you become rich in your bank account. So a lot of times when we talk about manifesting things, words have power. You got to be intentional with your thoughts, right? You know, if you could think it, you could achieve it. But first, you got to believe it, and you got to put that action behind your faith. So make sure that every day, your mental fortitude, you work on that. I like to go to the gym, I work out, but at the same time, you got to work on your mental, right? So make sure your mental health is where it needs to be, and that is the word of the day.
Got a woosah.
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 Woosah, baby.
Can't let nobody irritate you or take you out of your zone.
That's it, man.
But anyway, back to business. We got a very special guest in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I think it's only right that my man Cal introduce him. You introduce him. I think it's only right. I feel like it's only right.
That's it, man. Yo, y'all know the vibes. Y'all know what it's hitting for, man. It's my brother. We've been doing music together for a very long time. And y'all know the name, the recognizable name, man. No other than my brother, Angelous, man. What's up, bro?
Oh, what's going on, man? What's going on, guys? How's everything? You know, it's my brother for a long time, man. Brother in arms, long time, man. Long time.
Definitely, man. That's my guy, man. We've been doing music for so long. And y'all know on Seek Music Mondays, man, like not only financial literacy, but we bring on artists, we bring on listeners, producers, everybody, because, you know, it's great not only for y'all to hear from us, but to hear from y'all as well, man, you know, and just first hands-on experience, you know, how you guys are doing musically, creative-wise and everything. So, you know, Age, for the people that might not be too familiar, you know, necessarily with who you are, man. Yo, tell the people where you from, man. You know what I'm saying? Like how you got started in music and all of that, man.
Yeah, man. So Brooklyn is where it's at, Brownsville and Crown Heights, forever. Started out with the Ain't a Game mixtape. When mixtapes were like a super thing. And then part two just took it, to a different level. The deals and everything else, and it has some comparisons, vocally to Jay, and I was dope, and life kind of made a decision between raising my child on music, so I chose my child, of course, and then just kind of I was gonna say fade to black, that can't play on that one now, but just chilled out for a little bit. And then until, my brother, Case Fizzy was like, yo, man, you can still, go out there and go do it. So, I got something for that ass, in the December time, gonna drop a couple joints, the red pill, black pill, blue pill, 3 different projects, like 12 songs each, to get my music legs under me, coming back for what's owed to me, and earn it as well. So, that's the past, present, and hopeful future.
Definitely, man. And you dropped a lot of gems, because just to talk about how music has progressed and how it's changed so drastically. I remember when we first started, like mixtapes were the thing, so everybody was like selling mixtapes out the trunk of their cars. People were going to the bootleggers on Jamaica Avenue in Brooklyn, whatever, like selling the mixtapes, man. And I mean, at that time, man, like, I mean, it was crazy. Like, I remember, like, the buzz was crazy. The streets was flooded with, like, all the mixtapes that you had, man. Could you just kind of, like, I mean, just to kind of backtrack, talk about that era? Because that kind of was, like, the golden era. I mean, Clue had your joint. Slay was playing. Rest in peace to DJ K. Slay. You know what I'm saying? Slay was a real one. You know what I'm saying? That was holding it down, playing your joints, man. So how did those mixtapes really impact, like, your career at that time, man? Like, you know?
It was what the internet, you know, and streaming was for itself, because it replaced the label market of being able to put you out. You're able to do it yourself, and on top of that, the expense of, you know, you don't have to worry about licensing or a beat that you may use on someone else, and you can really display your talent. And it got me to St. Louis. It got me, actually, I was all over the world, literally, like UK, you know, I forgot, the African station had it, you know, in Africa. I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, I was in, of course, well, tri-state and in Atlanta, and, you know, just all over the states as well. And mixtapes, you know, people would take them, you know, they had they had the CDs, and they would go like, yo, I got this joint for you. So, and word of mouth was so extreme at that point in time. And it was, and I don't know if then and now was really, because now anyone can hear it, but I think the group setting, because people would take the CD and then they play it in the car, and everybody be outside like, yo, you heard that? Like, yeah. So that really got into there. And then, you know, people wanted to tangibly think I was real. So they had to actually meet me and see me, like, for 5 seconds. So then that even, you know, built more of the hype to actually meet me in person, to see that. And then the skill level, that really kind of blew out the way. I remember one time Slade got rest his soul, and I didn't want to be on everybody the wave of it, but I will mention something in one of my projects to him. You know, even though you have to, you know, one day I was on the album, the Street Sweepers album. I forgot which one it was.
That was, you had it. It was, you was on there with Jay Mills, right? It was you, Jay Mills, a couple other people on there.
Yeah, and I was there. I met oh man, I forgot his name from Def Jam. Not Loud. I'll remember the name. But, you know, I had the whole Sony team come up, and it was a moment to let me know, like, yo, this is really, really real. But just for mixtapes and that alone, I mean, it helps you. It helps you also to learn the difference between mixtapes and songs, which, you know, also became a progression. But mixtapes, man, at that stage, man, it allowed the people, oh, you know, and for the low, you were able to get, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. We will be back in about 5 minutes.
You good? Okay, I don't know what happened. Sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. But yeah, that the mixtape game, man, that helped a lot. It helped me a lot, man. Those mixtapes, man, shit. And then you didn't have to accept what was it, CD Baby? I forgot what it was that you print them out to, and you got those. So, you know, even just the marketing was so much easier at that point in time. So, you know, that for me helped out a great deal, you know, in getting the word of mouth out.
Yeah, definitely, man. Mixtapes, that was the thing back then. That was the standard, you know, and then, you know, things changed, things progressed with time. You know, it went from physical CDs to MP3s, right? Then from MP3s, then we got into streaming. Yeah, you know, so everything changed, man. You know, yeah, of course, man. You know, if you know one thing I wanted to ask you, man, like because we call this like the Back to the Future question, right? So like hindsight is always 2020, right? Like everybody want a Monday night quarterback, right? But if you could go back in time and you can give your younger self who was at that prime time like some advice, like some critical advice, what are the things now looking back? Like I know they say hindsight is 2020, but what are some of those things that you would say to your younger self, like, yo, don't do this, do this? Because there's a lot of musicians that listen to this show, and, you know, they're always looking for gems and knowledge, and that's why we do this. So, you know, what are some critical things that not only would you have said to yourself that you feel that musicians listening to this right now can learn from?
Well, for my personally, and then I would extend to professionally, I'd have took the meeting with Jay-Z. If I could go back to my younger self and let go, and I think that would roll your pride, I'd have took the meeting. I mean, I was supposed to go, but then I was listening to other people, and I was there like, nah, you know, a whole bunch of foolery, and then, you know.
I remember that too, man. Because I remember there's a lot of people in the air like, yo, yo, Jay gonna have people from the Rock jump you. Don't go, son. Like all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man.
Not. And I was like, well, I'll go. Y'all can stay. And it's like, are you crazy? I was like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, what's the, I mean, you know where I'm going. I mean, worst case scenario, I mean, you got money, but not for murder. I mean, I don't think so. You know, I would have definitely took that meeting. I think sometimes, you know, it's, well, now you can do a lot of things yourself, but you don't need a lot of managers or, you know, all that. But I would say know the legality surrounding your worth. I would definitely tell myself that, you know, own your shit, right? Like your masters, your lyrics. Make sure you have backups of that. Everything. I mean, you do now. Like, you know, if you do or where you record at, make sure it's a trustworthy place. Make sure that you're financially literate to know what you're going to put in to your music and know how you're going to do it, right? Everything is in a marketing scheme. You're not, you know, you don't have to look at the machine, look at your talent, and then look where you're being successful, and you know, I guess make that a hard concrete space and then expand. And I would tell myself to don't worry about trying different things as long as you have a solid base. It was really stuck in being like, you know, worrying about, you know, the hood. Like, I want to be the nicest, and if they compare me to this guy, you know, that's great. That means I must be great, you know. And at that time, you know, Jay was at the pinnacle of where pinnacle could be, you know, till Eat the Hit. And it was, you know, it was like, yeah, you know, but, you know, still, like, you know, Jay-Z formidably was able to transcend time. And I think LL too, but Jay-Z at a higher level, much at a different level. Let's say a different level. So I think really be open to your craft. That would be my last piece, and be open to doing something a little bit differently. But those are the 4 to 5 pieces, things that I would tell myself, and I hope artists now, you know, especially with ownership, leadership, don't be afraid to take risks. Understand that there's different people that build with you and invest with you. People that build with you, it's okay to make mistakes. But people that invest with you can't, because they're expecting a return, and that's business. You can't mix up friends and business. I think our relationship was the only one where, out of how many people that we knew, right? Like, our contact list was like heavy, and not a lot of people there. So don't expect those people that are there not to be there. And that's one person, maybe two, out of maybe 300 in the contact list. And just keep that circle, like, the smaller, the better. Smaller, the better. Smaller, the better. And I think that's it.
Fact. That's real talk, man. Like, having that vetting process, because, you know, a lot of people will be there to celebrate the wins, but, you know, it's very few people that be there with the losses, you know. So that's definitely valid. Like, you got to pick and choose your surrounding cast very critically. So always do that. And I think too, like, appreciating the people that add value. That's one thing we always talk about, like adding value. And value doesn't have to be attached to money. I think people make that misconception, right? It's like, oh, well, you know, this person is broke. So what? They might be broke financially, but they might be rich abundantly with knowledge, you know, to pour back into you and motivate you and encourage you. And that's what it's about, you know, sustainable relationships that add value to you. So just making sure that you pick your supporting cast very wisely, and make sure that you don't have a bunch of yes men and yes women, because those are the worst people to have around, right? It's like, you know, it's like somebody get to the bag and now there's 30 dudes around them and everybody don't want to piss them off, right? So it's kind of like, oh, just let him do what he want to do. But no, those people that love you enough to tell you when you're wrong, you know, like that's right. That's an act of love, right? It's like the art, you know, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm glad music kind of changes. You could do it, a lot of it yourself, you know, but you always have that listen to your engineer, people around you. But that, I mean, you know, depending on where you come from, my personal experience is, you know, like, I don't need 50, 40 dudes in the studio and telling me it's the greatest verse I ever heard, and they just rolling up and it don't matter because they coming for the ride. You know what I mean? Like you, that entourage thing, man, and yes, man, is critical. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never forget, because, you know, I'm transparent to a fault and a degree. You know, when we did the Angel's Hair record, when we have an AV8, I hated that record. Oh my God, I didn't even, that was nothing I wanted to do. But yo, that'd be dope. And you got the people, and we in the studio, we got, you know, and the atmosphere could really be tricky, man. So now I think it's a blessing too that you kind of do music on your own And, you could fucking, pull up Logic on your phone, or, and do it in your crib, and just, get it professionally mixed or mastered by someone, or, or put it through, I forgot the system. But yo, man, that entourage thing is crazy. And these rappers out here even now, like, you know what I mean? Like, the shooting in amongst themselves and the killings is like, wow. So the yes men, sometimes you got to be careful, because you even take on their drama. And then, when you think about it, the older you get, like, you want to, if music is like the streets, people want to be in the streets. That's not what they want to do. That's sustainable for a moment to move forward, to be like, I don't never want to go back. You know what I mean? Even go back to the community, make the community better. They try to, and then sometimes they end up becoming martyrs. Rest in peace their soul if they die, because most martyrs die. Or, you can't walk or some shit. And, I want to see my kids and grandkids and people grow up and see the fruits of my labor, so someone doesn't have to repeat that. So those yes men, sometimes what they come with or what they may tell you could fuck your whole shit up. So, that's something I watch and observe, and I have learned. 2 or 3, great. 5 is just making it. I think whatever's your starting 5, and 2 extra for the bench. That's about it. You don't got 5 quarterbacks, you got 2. You got 1 in the backup, and that's it. So I think, really assess your team, and I think those yes men and people that will be honest with you, but to critique, not criticize, keep it.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Looking back, man, because you had mad accomplishments, man. I mean, featured on MTV, featured in Double XL. I mean, radio play. The list goes on and on and on. $1 million deal on the table, man. $1 million deal on the table. That's when the deals was crazy. Record label offering you $1 million. What would you say, looking back on all of that, was like one of your proudest moments? Because, I mean, you had a lot of career highlights, but what is something that you look back that's nostalgic for you? Like, damn, I did that. You know what I mean?
I think, I don't know, really truthfully, I don't think I'm proud of any of that. One day I was with one of my closest friends, we split for a minute, we actually reconnected, became cool, one day I was like, man, I don't know about this music shit, and then that's when I went hard in the deals. Even, it was crazy, like that Hot 97 access is cool, I ain't gonna lie. But, to be honest, I was like, yo, I think I did a lot. He was like, that's what you happy with? You happy with that? Like, we still here, and in my mind, I'm still like, I don't know where you get the friendship from, but, that's my man. I'd have put him on anyway. But, he was right. I don't think I'm proud of any of it. I don't think I did anything deserving. I think to the test, I think I failed. If I was going to be one of the best, regardless of sound like, or not, my job was to be that guy, I like being able to have had access, like, Misha, our manager, she said something like, a lot of rappers, they rap because they want to, it's a steam thing, they want to get into the club, they want to be acknowledged, and a lot of us do it for acknowledgement. And when you get to the bright lights, like, you can't perform, whether you have the machine behind you or not. Like, and it's not like I wasn't nice. Like, nobody could challenge my niceness. It don't matter who's there. And Biggie's the greatest. If Biggie was in front of me, I'd be like, yo, we gonna have this rap off. I mean, we got a whole Junior Mafia, 30 guys. I was like this. All right, hold up. I got to go to Brownsville. I'll be right back. But, it wouldn't matter. Even if it's Jay-Z himself, like, it doesn't matter. We would go line for line. It doesn't matter. There's no one except Nas. Nas is kind of tricky. Nas, yeah, he's a tricky guy. Like, Nas is the only person I would feel like I gotta sit down for a couple days, and work it out. But other than that, I really don't see like where I've accomplished something to even feel proud of it. I think in this upcoming set and series of my life, or arc, to call it that, I'll measure it then. A memorable moment I could say though is when I was when I went to meet 50 in the Rock the Mic tour. Was it Rock the Mic tour? No, I Rock the Mic tour. What was the Sprite tour they went on?
I think it was the Sprite tour. I think
Sprite
so.
Yeah. 50's a jerk. He's funny. He's a funny guy. Not jerk, funny guy. So he was back there, and then he was like, yo. All of them was looking at me, because, everybody knew who I was. They didn't really like it. But, me, I'm not trust me, I handle my own if need be. But, I'm pretty brave. I'm not scared of a lot, So I went in, we was talking, whatever. And, he was just cool. Like, yo, great person for that moment. I don't know outside of that, but for the moment, what he is, great person. He was talking. He was like, "Yo, just keep it up. Trust me, because we had the same lawyer at the time." And and it was like, "Don't show his face." Like he had a whole plan in his mind. Like the guy be thinking steps ahead, and he has the right people to kind of make it happen. He's like, "Yo, don't let him see your face, but yo, keep doing what you're doing." He said, "Yo, JC, you." He's like, "You want to fuck with him?" So you know what you look like. You know who you are. So, yeah, he probably saw. And I went out and I saw him perform, and then Jay saw me and I saw him. We looked at each other, and I mean, Jay-Z to billions of people, don't fucking worry about me. But he did see, and he was like, and he looked again, he's like, and he like, like this little motherfucker, not little, but this guy. So I think that was a very, very pertinent moment in my life. But it made me reflect, like, yo, is this something that I really want? Not having a life, raising your child and shit like that. And at that time I was like, nah, I don't really want it. So that was a really, really funny. No, I'm lying. Sorry, not to time. I'm not lying. Clark Kent. Clark Kent would be the most memorable thing I ever remember. And we was in, because I'm in Brooklyn. So he was on, I don't want to say, but a spot near Church Ave. And that was a spot. So we met up. So I had my disc, and we played it. He's like, okay, so let me hear something right now. So I'm rhyming. He's like, that shit sound better than what's on there. I was like, oh, well, I'm freestyling that. He's like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'll never get the fuck out of here, man. He's like, yo, get the fuck, yo. He's like, yo, all the greats don't freestyle. Yo, you had the. I said, I swear to God, like I'm doing this as and he was like, when somebody looks at you and they're like, get the fuck out of here. So then, I made a song, and I forgot the line. Some part just out there. He had a man, Joel, and I said a line. He's like, yo, you want to get you. I'm like, well, I think I'm by myself here. But, he's like, yo, but I respectfully understood, like respectfully. He was like, yo, like, people was like, I just want to talk. Like, well, that wasn't that type of line, like, where it's like beef or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? It was a rap line. It was not like that, because I'm not like that. I'm more like, I prepare for war. I don't start it. You know what I mean? So it's not that. But, and so then he had a beat, and Slade took me up there, and I did a verse on it. And then he gave me like the nod, like, that's some cold shit. He was just like, nah, that was a dope verse. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping and assuming in my fantastical thought that he was like, yo, nah, that nigga's real. He called Jay like, nah, whatever it is, you might want to either keep an eye on this nigga or sign this nigga and shelf him. I don't know what you want to do, but he's authentic as fuck. That's what the vibe was when it came by. Like, it was a respectful thing. And of course, men come from their own spaces, their own eras, or whatever it is. But I'll never, ever, even if right now, I drop, my records and I become that guy for 10 years, because I'm only doing music for like 10 years. And that's my goal. And boom. And I sell millions of records or billions of streams. That still, to my day, would be, I think I had to earn something for someone who's a purveyor of music, and watching someone that could arguably be the greatest of all time say that about me. You know what I mean? So I'm big on respect. So I'll never forget that. And that funny time we always on Misha's couch and Cuddy was there, but that's a personal story. That was funny. But those are backlog stories. But yeah, that Clark Kent and the 50 and the Sprite tour would be memorable. But as far as the original question, nah, I ain't do nothing yet. Keyword yet. I ain't do nothing.
Of course. Now let me ask you this, man, because I know like it's crazy, because I always felt like it was kind of like, no pun intended, like the gift and the curse, right? Meaning that like the voice that you had was like God-given. Like people used to think like, yo, he really sound like that? But that was your voice. You know what I'm saying? Like no lie, that's no cap. It wasn't like you was putting on. That's just how you sounded. So I guess, and I don't think anybody ever asked you this question before, do you feel that sounding like Jay-Z, did it help you as much as it hurt you? Because I kind of feel,
Shady Raja in the building.
That's right.
Hayes TV.
Mysterious. Deal lady. And Angelous. Yeah. Y'all gonna recognize what's going on here. The brain quizzer, ain't Hitler, the game switcher. Turn around, burn it down, ain't Angel, flame spitter. I made weather, but summer gets hotter in June. I break brothers to the bottom of fuel. The base of it, faith covered all the violence in tune. With A1 to hope your game, brother, follow the moves. I walk up to you. Not even Glock steaming, put the 4 to you. I'm not grieving, stop breathing, push the Lord to you. Cry Christ, I like when your vitals is lost. Flatline till I blind you to cross the upper side, get your uppers, I'm ready for war.
Oh yeah, listen, I mean, it helped you because people's like, who is that? Here's the problem. I'm nice.
Right.
There's millions of people that sound like millions of people, right? Like you got millions of people that may sound or mimic a sound with this Jai and DMX or Fab or everybody may sound like Wayne or FIFO Foreign or like there's millions of people that sound like people, right? And you could be created in a machine, but you have talent. Like you could put together lines that somebody would go 3 weeks later and go, oh shit, I just got what he said. You know what I mean? I think that is what hurt me, the most. I think that really that hurt because it was like if I was mediocre and decent and from Brooklyn, then it would have been an easy like, all right, we grab them up, mold them. I remember, I ain't gonna say the DJ name, but made jokes and was like, yo, you can do drops for Jay. And I was like, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? But like being nice like that was like that really was the that was the curse. being like really putting together the lines, like, you know what I mean? When you say some shit that a guy's like, I could have said that, I should have said that. Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's not like, I mean, yeah, it's not good because then you can't propel your career, and then they're gonna be like, oh, because you sound like this guy, you know what I mean? But then, there are a lot of guys that may sound like a guy, but if they have their own thing and they go their own lane, two things either happen. Either A, you financially successful and nobody gives a fuck because you're selling millions of records. And they're like, well, you putting food on anybody's table. And I think everybody who raps contributes to hip hop. Even if you're trash. We are listening to it, right? We're what was the girl period right? It's the funniest shit I ever heard. But I was like, truthfully, yo, if you put some drums behind that, you know what I mean? Like, yo, but that's contributing because it still puts into people listening to a form of art that we all know it is. So, yeah, man, like it's it's good and it was good and it's bad. It was good and it's bad. I always got off the screen. It was good and it's bad. But Jace, that means that you might have a question. If you have one, man.
Yeah. Now, okay, you just said that you kind of had your own lane. Now, who would you say is like not necessarily your top 5, but I would say your favorite 5 people that influence you as an artist?
Damn, man, I'm trying to get back into the newer culture too. So you're gonna make me look old.
Don't necessarily gotta be new.
I can't. Now, I mean, to me, truthfully, oh man, that's an era thing. I mean, but overall, because like I always say, there's rappers, lyricists, entertainers, and for someone to average out like a 10 in all 3 areas, that's hard, man. But Biggie, of course, I think what Biggie was doing, I don't think he was the most lyrical guy. Like if but the man painted a picture, man. Like it's just whatever it was. Some people call it talent, it could be swag, whatever it was, man. But whatever his thing was, Biggie just is there. Then I have Jay. Well, Nas and Jay interchangeably. I mean, if there's no order, it's Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. That's just factual. My last 2, right? Big Pun is in there. And that show rap I like. But that last spot is so hard because you got Rakim, you have Cool G Rap, you have Big L, you got old Eminem, you got Cole, J. Cole, you got I love Drake, man. I don't know, man. That 5th spot is so hard, man. I have to be 10, but out of those guys, like Andre 3000, like there's guys in there that I'm just like, yo, you know, or Styles P, like you hurt, like you know, like even like Styles, like you know, I think my line that I just you know, and the gun is only helping the clip, and the clip is only helping the hand. So like, who the fuck is helping your man? Like in your lifetime, you're like, yo, that is an honest statement. You know what I mean? Like if I have this and this is helping this, who's gonna help him? And you're like, yo, weird. Why is nobody saying that? You know, and of course you got Kiss. You know, Jeezy. No, actually, I like Luda. I like Luda, like Jeezy, I like T.I. Like, it's a lot of guys to be like, you know, Young Thug before he got like Mace. It's a lot of guys to put in that fifth spot. So my top four of those guys in that era, and I think that would even if, you know, because Pun and Big isn't here, like Jay-Z and Nas could still, you know, with the best of them hold their own, whether the machine is behind them or not. You know, I think people are still looking for a diehard Jay-Z verse. Like, they're grabbing onto anything, you know. But Jay-Z's like, yeah, I'll give you a couple. I'm not really going to bust my brain. I'll give you a couple. I've cemented myself so much. Like, it's like Jordan with LeBron's body. Like, like, right. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the guy is timeless. So, you know, it's like, you know, Drake is the only person I see substantially with a period of time to do records, have stuff that you want to listen to. I don't know about that last album. I mean, personally, it's Drake, so I like it because it's Drake. I like Drake, but I don't know about the last one. But, you know, like, you know, Drake is the only person close enough to Jay-Z to be like, I don't have to do a verses in a sense where I have records that are so concrete currently, and I don't have to put too much behind it if I don't want to. And it's a dope record. Like, so, you know, that my great five would be those four unarguably. And the other five still arguably, I think any one of those people that I mentioned and whoever else have I gotten, you know, outside of myself, of course, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It had to be a top 20 or 25. Then we have a list. The top 25, we have a list. But five, man, hip hop is too old to have five general, especially given like context and music and content, catalog, body of work, freestyles, features, tours, like 50 and 50. Like, you know, I think there's only, well, in music for African Americans, only like 10 people that have gone diamond. 50 is one of them. I think him, Mike, Prince, like not a lot of people go diamond. Like to sell 10 million records, yo, like, do you know what I mean? Who else? Stevie, I think, did it. And I mean from a complete album, not just like one record. Like you had songs, and so that's a lot, man. So yeah, it had to be a top 25, and it had to like Nelly. I like Nelly. You know what I mean? I like the Migos. I like JID. Like there's a lot of guys where I'm like, FIFO. G Herbo. And damn, who else? I just started kind of getting to even Freddie Gibbs. I'm like, okay, you mean Benny? Like, there's a lot of guys where you're like, music is not bad. So where you be like, all right, it's not. You had a moment where I'm not gonna lie, Laffy Taffy threw me off, but then you know I'm like, hey, hello. I'm like, yeah, all right, we're back. You know what I mean? So it's like it's tough because you know some joints you're like, all right, you know, thank God for you getting that money off those BDSs, boy, but you know, and now the streams, but you know, top 5 is hard, man. Top 25, then we could kind of talk. Especially if something happens, I get projected. I don't want niggas back. I can't do a song with you. You saw that Diagnosis Success fucking cast.
Yo, let me ask you this, man. All right, who's the top 5 producers that you've worked with in your career? Like some of the cats that like really dope cats that produce records for you.
Nah, I have to say that because I think some of them are still working. I don't want them to get hurt. Next question.
Ghost production.
Next. One of them is really, 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 really famous. I'll say that. Really famous and very controversial, but really famous. You know, I got to be from them. And they were like, it's like, yeah. I was like, Yeah, but you're doing this despite this, man. That's a different, but I'll leave that. That's a story to tell in a documentary when that beat came through. And we were like, word from you? Okay. And when it came in the email, we was like, me and me looked at like, that's from who it is? And the beat wasn't that great. It was like 2-3 beats, but I know it was to kind of feel me out. And of course, I fucking put that beat in the cemetery. Like it was graveyard. Like, I took my time with that. I even did, but I was like, nah, that verse is, too much wordplay. Gotta dumb it down. I had the right amount of wordplay and the right amount of like, this is just right. The third bit was just right. But yeah, they gave me a beat, man, and and they're very relevant today. Very relevant. I'll say that.
Fire. Now there's been a lot of talk recently. I know the baby was saying that he feels that he was blackballed, and I know Russ publicly denounced that. He says, yo, I don't feel that people get blackballed. I just feel either people fuck with your music or they don't. Do you feel that you were blackballed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it directly, indirectly, right? Like for those that directly wanted to do it, they're like, you could. But you have to understand, this is the livelihood. Some people are just corny. And some people, it's their livelihood. You respect that. Like, that's how they put meat on the table. For some people, they just want to, ride the wave. And, so I think, yeah, definitely there was, like, blackballing does happen. Let's be realistic. But, yeah, I definitely was. And I think some people also too off the merit of just being like worrying about it. It's funny because I think I was watching $1 Million worth of game, and he was like, and Cam was saying like, oh, like Jay don't fuck with you, so I don't want to piss you. Like Jay don't even know you, like, you know what I mean? And again, if you the man, you the man of ours, so you can't, that's what people gonna do. So I think they're like, yeah, nah. I remember one time even some people from Bad Boy brought it to Puff, but that's that's a different story. Let me leave that alone too. Like, it's just. And I get it. It's a loyalty to of not a fault, but like to just for security, a loyalty for security. So just in case you don't want to let that relationship get hindered, that could help you don't burn that political bridge. There's a lot of politics, man. So I understood it, but yeah, you can get blackballed, but at the same time, people may not fuck with you because of that. And if a certain person of a caliber don't fuck with you, isn't that blackballing you? Right? So if I'm running, well, not 300. If I run Interscope or I run Atlantic, and I'm like, and and I'm the at A&R, and I'm like, I don't really know. Do you think anybody else under me? I mean, somebody might take the risk, but again, if music is very ACS CPSable, right? Yeah, like shit can happen, but if a kid dies, it's like extreme measures. You fail, that's it. People only remember you off your last case, unless you've done that much great things where they could kind of look at the scope of little things here and there. But with music, I think people were really worried about burning that possible relationship. And I get it, like, hey, you get a J verse or JOK who gives you a nod or like shows up at your event. And Jay has learned to master his and like Jordan, like his brand. So I don't want to make this about Jay-Z, but I understand in blackball because of Jay-Z. Yeah, that's but do him himself personally? I don't. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I were him and me, I mean, if I would look at Jay, I understand Jay would probably do something small and slight and slick, like no, and not taking that meeting. I think was like kind of like a fuck that. Like, okay, well, either you'll make it or you are making it, and we're gonna go at it, which which would have been fine. It would have been great for music had I had some songwriting potential, which I have now. It took years to master. But that would have probably came with a development team to kind of guide me on how to. I mean, I wasn't gonna let him write maybe some hooks, but not my verses. I think you should have that because one for ownership, publishing, and writing. But I think that Jay probably was like, nah, and people were like, all right, you say no, you're the boss, and that's that. And did that.
All right, man. Well, I mean, this was fire, man. So, yo, tell the people what's on the horizon, man. What you got cooking up. I know you mentioned the projects briefly, but tell them, like, when should they expect them? What's the names of them? If they want to connect with you on social media, like, how can they reach out to you? Like, tell them the whole gamut.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? I actually might switch up the name too. I'm thinking there's a lot of marketing things happening. I mean, it'll be Angelous. I mean, the Instagram. I only have Instagram, one streaming source. I mean, I might do Twitter. I don't know, Twitter, like, you know, I don't know. But Angelous Wonder, Angelous Wonder, Wonder. And I don't want to do the phonetics like A is for Apple, but Angelous Wonder. You know, as my Instagram. The projects I'm doing, the red pill, blue pill, and the black pill. The black pill will give you some nostalgia, hip hop. It's kind of like past, present, future. You know, the blue pill has a lot of mainstream music, and the red pill has a lot of relationship, Drakey vibe kind of music in a sense. You know, and I'm aiming for December to release one song from each project, maybe January. I'm aiming for either one of those to release one song with like a video and a video visuals for each one of them. That's what makes it a little difficult because for each one of them. So the way that I want to kind of do it is, you know, splice each song, give you a verse from each song, even though it's 2 verses per song, but it'll be 3 because it's each pill very differently. So I'm working with different people for different creative content, and just go from there, and then we'll see how the public receives it. Either way, I'm still going to drop all 3. I'm kind of looking at May or June, depending the feedback, you know, depending on how it goes. March maybe the super earliest, but May, June of 2023. And you know, everything, I'm gonna change up a lot, some things, you know, just to, have a little bit of marketing and things to go on. So expect that very, 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 very soon. And I think the reception will be great. I didn't want to, for people that didn't know, to have one concept of me. And I didn't want to lose the base of people that, you know my work, mixtape work, not my album work, because I have a lot of mixtapes, to see me in a different lens, but not to go too far off from what they know. So it's going to be growth. A lot of it may not be exactly, you know, Angelousable that they would want to know, but I'm growing as an artist, and that's a spizzy line. So box line, you know, you got to grow and look at different things, and we're going to just touch different things, but it'll all be quality. It'll all be quality. It won't be rushed. It took some years. It took some time. And then from there, I'm just going to keep consistent with the music. Like I said, I'm going to do music for like a good 10 years. And I think, you know, so I'm going to be on people, you know, radar for myself and for my family and for the few and the brave that's been around all this time. So that's what's coming up, and that's what's going to happen. And then I think I'm only going to do some, you know, some DS interviews only to keep it exclusive. So therefore, you guys only have the content when they're looking for, like, damn, I need to know archives. I'm probably not going to show a lot of visuals of myself. So this will be just it. And, you know, so only for the family,
Fire, man.
Nice. Well, nah, man, we appreciate you taking out the time, man. We can't wait to hear that new music.
Oh, yeah, of course. Actually, you know what? I was thinking about it, but I'm more than likely I still might drop one freestyle to kind of, you know, I think I'm a full circle it. I think, you know, I'll start off with a freestyle, a mixtape joint, make it kind of songy, couple bars, you know. I'm probably gonna call it the pre-appetizer. As a matter of fact, you're doing it right now. They are a pre-appetizer to a beat. I'll drop it probably in like 2-3 weeks. If I get a visual for it, then dope. Yeah, and I'll do that. And then maybe a month after that, 2 months after that, I'll drop the music. So yeah, I'll do the free. Yeah, that's a good idea. So freestyle will be out in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I heard him. And once again, my favorite day of the week, Sing Music Mondays. Make sure y'all tune in next week. We out.